Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video we're going through why I still use point and shoot cameras in 2021 and why I think you guys should be doing it as well. Let's jump in. So currently I have two point and shoot cameras. I have this Minolta 125 Rivera Zoom and I have this Minolta Highmatic GF. There is no real reason why I use these two cameras, if I'm completely honest, and the fact they're both Minolta is just a coincidence. This one, the Rivera Zoom, I found in the cupboard at home, and that it kind of sort of kick-started the ideas of which we're going to talk about in this video. And I'll explain a bit more in detail later on, but I picked up this one a bit later because I wanted one that gave me a little bit more control, and I just thought it looked really cool. So I bought it. And for other reasons, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, why do I use these two cameras in 2021? We literally have supercomputers in our pockets with insane cameras in them, and they can store tens of thousands of photos. Why would I limit myself to a clunky camera that I have to carry around, as well as my phone and my other camera, which can only shoot 24 or 36 photos, depending on the film I'm using? Why would I do that to myself? The simple answer, but the most true answer for this, is memories. Memories. That's why I use these cameras. This all started with the Minolta 125 Rivera Zoom. I loaded this in January 2020 with a roll of film that I later found out, well, I found out yesterday, wait no, I found out 4 days ago, was a expired roll of Portra, Kodak Portra 160. When I loaded this, I hadn't started my film journey yet. I started this year. This was last year, and I didn't actually know what the hell I was putting in it. It was just a roll of film that I'd found, I think also in the same cupboard, or I might have still had it left over from when I did film in college or something. But yeah, this is what kickstarted it. I loaded it with a roll of film, and my plan was that I'm going to shoot photos on this camera across the whole year. I knew it was a 36 exposure film, and I wanted to make the 36 exposures last for the entirety of 2020, capturing random moments throughout the year. The events of COVID then happened, and that dragged on to more than a year, and I only finished this roll of film 4 days ago when I finally took the last photo on it. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this and the reason why I started this is because I have no idea what the hell was on that roll of film. Other than the photos I took 4 days ago, I can't even remember the last time I used it. I have no idea what the other, I think I took 4 photos the other day, so there's 32 photos on there that I have no idea what they're of. I can't remember where I took the camera, I can't remember who was there, I can't remember who I took photos of, or what we were doing, or what memories happened. All I know is I've taken those photos at some point in the last year and a half. And that is the absolute beauty of this idea. When I get this roll developed, which I actually sent off this morning to go get developed, I will be overwhelmed with nostalgia and these memories that I've had over the last year and a half that I'd completely forgotten about. I'd completely forgotten I'd captured these moments on this camera. And that is going to be incredible. The fact that I chose to capture those memories out of the 36 limited photos that I had on this camera, and I chose to capture those memories, means that in the moment they were worthwhile capturing to me, which means hopefully I will experience some sort of nostalgia and be incredibly happy and feel the emotions of that moment all over again, because it must have meant a lot to me if I decided to take a photo in that moment. And I am genuinely so excited to receive it back. I won't be sharing the photos because they are photos that I have taken for myself for memories. So I won't be sharing them anywhere. I won't be posting them online. I won't put them in this video or anything like that. But yeah, I am just so excited to see what I captured over the last year and a half. So this camera was intended for long term. As I say, this was intended for the last a year. It ended up lasting longer, but was intended to last a year across 2020. Which is why I later then picked up, let's make them look all pretty for the video. I then later picked up this Minolta Highmatic GF. And yeah, part of the reason I picked it up is because I just think it's a really cool little camera. I wanted a point and shoot that kind of slid in my bag and gave me a little bit more control, because that one is literally turn it on, take a photo, it's auto. This is a bit more control on it in terms of you set the flash, you can set your field of view. You can set your focus range. You have to decide whether it's sunny, cloudy, or cloudy. But that's really it. That's all you've got control over in this camera. But I wanted something just a bit more camera, if that makes sense. Like, it fits more of a camera I don't know. But that's, and I also wanted it to shoot shorter term memory photos. So my intention with this was to use up the roll of film in it every 2 to 3 months, and I've been pretty spot on with that actually. And I've also been using it to test out some other films, because my Olympus I'm shooting a COVID photo project on, so alongside that I've been using this to capture images on some other films so I can test out that film. But the fact that I can use this in a much more short term, I'm not too careful, I'm not as reserved as I am with the images on this one, and so I capture more in the moment images. And I've actually captured some quite fun ones. I'll put a couple on the screen now of some quite fun ones from being very drunk and taking photos with this camera, and it's just little memory photos like that is what, they're just such a vibe, and I just love it, and that's why I wanted to start shooting film. I think taking photos on iPhones nowadays has become so commonplace that doesn't mean anything anymore. So why should you be doing this? Well, if it's not already quite clear, I think this is an absolutely fantastic idea. I don't know of anyone else that's doing it, and I thought of this idea myself. I'm sure there are other people out there that do this sort of thing, but I've never met them, I've never even heard of them. This is an idea that I came up with myself and decided I wanted to do. And I think everyone should do it because, as I just said, taking photos on iPhone now is so easy and instant, and you can take any photo you want, and you can take as many as you want, that it just kind of takes the value away from that memory, because you can take so many photos, you don't think about the photo that you're taking. Whereas with this, you have to be really intentional, you have to really pick the photos you're going to be taking, and because of that, you generally end up taking photos that mean more to you. And I feel like with iPhones, you're completely missing that point. I think 9 times out of 10, you take a photo on your iPhone and it just sits in the camera roll. Maybe it gets posted somewhere for 24 hours, probably on a story, and then it's gone. It's flooded into the masses of social media, and it just sits on your camera roll for eternity, really. Whereas these are actually intentional. You're thinking about the shots you're taking, and then at some point when you fill up the film, you're revisiting that image, and then you can sort of decide what you want to do with it there. And maybe it just sits on a roll of film in your cupboard, maybe you get it printed, maybe you post it somewhere, but it was a memory that meant more to you in that moment, and that's why you decided to take it on film. And hopefully when you re-look at those images, when you get the film developed and you get the images back, you feel the emotions that you experienced when you took that image. And if you can capture that within your photography, you can capture emotions and moments and memories within your photography, then you're doing it right, in my opinion. I think you're doing it right. So as I say, I might be alone in this, I might be alone in thinking this, you might look at this video and think I'm an absolute nutter, but I highly advise everyone to at least try this out, see what you think. If you've got a film camera at home, just load some film into it, some cheap film. Some Kodak Gold would be spot on in my opinion. I think it's an awesome little film, and just take it out every now and again, get some photos, be very, very intentional. Like a lot of the time this is in my bag and I'm not actually using it, but then there's moments where I'm like, I want to capture it on this, and so I did. So that's all from me. That's literally my entire video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you found it interesting, if you like this idea, drop a thumbs up down below. It massively helps me out. Subscribe if you aren't already, and all the other stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. I would highly advise doing this. If you've got any questions about film cameras or point and shoot cameras or anything like that, message me on Instagram, drop a comment down below, whatever you want to do. I'm always open to answering questions. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to take the shot. Peace.